Greetings, Pastor Myron Crockett here with Journey Church Tacoma at the corner of 18th and North Pearl Street, across the street from the CVS. We've been talking about making U-turns for Jesus during this wilderness period that we call Lent, as we look forward to Good Friday and Easter Sunday that are coming up in a few weeks. And this wilderness time is a time that is self-imposed, but sometimes it's imposed by external circumstances. But it's a time where we can kind of be laid bare and we can see God and ourselves more clearly. And this is a time where, in unexpected ways, we can flourish. It's kind of like plants in the wilderness or plants in desert places. Some plants adapt brilliantly to harsh circumstances. Some plants might sprout at the exact moment that rain falls. Other ones bloom very, very quickly. Some plants ripen seed in just a few days. Other plants have developed root systems that are 80 feet long, and they can take in water from deep, deep, deep beneath the ground. Cactus plants, for example, they survive the desert because they have a thick, waxy coat on the outside of their stems and their leaves, and this helps them to retain water and protect tissues from intense sunlight. There are ways in which we can adapt to the desert or the wilderness places as we make U-turns for the Lord. In fact, He wants us to. The Lord doesn't want us to just be in a desert place and be focused on how terrible the desert is and how awful it is and it stinks, and thinking that if it stinks really, really, really badly, that the more it's awful, the more God is pleased. God is not a sadist, not in any way, shape, or form. God leverages the desert to cause us to flourish. And one way in which we can flourish is we can begin to ask some very relevant questions about what God may be asking of us as we make a U-turn towards Jesus in these wilderness or desert places. We could ask a few questions that will help us to reclaim our roots in the wilderness of Lent, or reclaim our roots in the desert places of Lent. Here's a few questions. What has God called you to do or to be? How will you develop an appetite for God's will? Who are you responsible for? Who are you accountable to? How will you hear from God? These are great questions to help us to reclaim our roots in the wilderness as we look to make a U-turn towards Jesus. Sit before God. Ask these questions of yourself, and then let Him speak to you. Let Him speak to you in the wilderness.